Okie dokie. So today's video is, you can tell by the title, it's a quote. So I think this is a few months ago, maybe even about a year ago, but I was chatting to a good friend of mine about some of these types of things, crisis and conflict, those sort of things, well-being and whatnot. And he's a guy that's been through sort of not so much of this type of stuff, had a, not an easy life, but definitely never experienced, at least in my observation, they're really acute sensations of being in that sort of personal crisis and having a lot of that conflict. And we were talking about this stuff, and I gave a few perspectives, and he gave me some sort of summary of what I'd said or a bit of advice, right? And it was, although logical and sound, it didn't quite resonate with me, and it was just a little bit off kilter from what I would all be able to receive and absorb properly, right? And that's fine. That's always going to happen. And I'll do another video about the shit advice people give you sometimes because they don't understand. However, I just happened to mention it to my wife in passing, and she said, spoken like a true non-sufferer. And I thought, oh, fuck, that's really true. Like that particular guy, he's never sort of been through that, or he's never been through that really acute crucible of an experience, right? To have that perspective. And what it made me think was, a lot of the stuff that I say, that I talk about, some of the stories, the anecdotes, maybe even some of the metaphors and the pictures and whatnot, won't make sense to a lot of people. They won't make sense to 99% of people. And I'm totally fine with that. And that's the whole fucking point of doing what I'm doing. It's because it's for that 1%. It's for that sufferer. It's that person that's really, really, and I call it chaos, when you're in that really chaotic state. Right? You can't see past it. You can just see that fog, that sort of really condensed darkness around you. Those thoughts, it's pervasive. It's not going to go away, and you can't see a solution. And sometimes you don't even know what the fuck it is, what's going on, and you can't explain it. All those type of yucky, really gritty things that go along with going through an experience like that. So if you're watching this and there's things you don't understand, or it sounds like a bit of I'm just ranting, or there's a metaphor you don't get, or you can't relate to it, or even if you're looking on, you've known me in a previous life at a different time, and you want to sort of mock me or laugh at something I say or do, or if I cry in here or whatever, that's totally fine. But this content is not for you. You're not the person that it's aimed for. It's sort of that it's aimed at. It's for the person that really is truly suffering, right? And the presentations that I do are a little bit different. They are still quite gritty, but they're a bit more concise. They're a bit more formalised in terms of what I deliver and what I talk about and how I talk about it. So the pitch and tone are very different. However, this social media stuff, the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, maybe even LinkedIn, it's for those people that are experiencing that are going through it. They can look at some of the things that I'm talking about and go, holy fuck, maybe that dude does get it. Maybe that dude does understand, or there is some perspective here that I haven't gained yet, that I can't see. You can't see the forest for the trees, right? And I remember the day, almost to the moment, when that kind of curtain was lifted, because previously I thought I was just the only person in the world going through this stuff. I had, in this unit that I was in a special operations unit. It's easy to look around you and go, oh man, everyone's doing well, they're killing it. No one has these stupid issues that I've got. No one has these stupid, insecure thoughts that I've got, and hates themselves like I do and self-sabotages. And I remember we had a spate of suicides in the unit at around that time, and there was one of them that was in my company. He was in the other platoon, and the guy had hung himself. And two members of the platoon, guys who I knew personally, went to his house and had to cut him down from the rope. And it was a particularly harrowing experience, I can only imagine. And so post my suicide attempt, as part of my rehabilitation, I was going back into work one day, and I was walking past the army hospital, and one of those guys, the two guys who I knew, was coming out. And he already looked pretty downtrodden, pretty upset. And I was like, hey, dude, how you going, man? Yelled out. And he saw me, and he instantly, my memory of this is he wasn't crying, but he just went boom, just started crying. It was like, oh, hey, man. Oh, yep, how are you? Yeah, good to see you doing well. Thanks, bro. Catch you later. And sort of like ran off. He was a very serious, very experienced senior guy in that unit. And up until that point, including funerals that I've been to, I'd never seen anybody in that unit cry, ever. Not in physical pain, especially not from emotional pain, definitely not from any sort of vulnerability or admission of their own, experience. And I remember going, man, maybe I'm not the only person on the planet that's experiencing what I'm experiencing. And maybe there's this facade that a lot of us put up that we can't see through. And we all put up this facade because we're protecting ourselves. But what we're really doing is we're shutting down other people around us, and they can't see the commonality of their experience. So then they shut down even more. They feel isolated. They're the only person. No one understands. No one cares. No one's going to help. Those kind of things. I'm a burden. It's just me. I'm shit. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just such an eye-opening experience. And when I do the presentations, or I step up into a stage, or I'm organising it, or I'm doing something like this, when I'm going to talk about something vulnerable, I actually remember, I always think back to that one moment when this guy really showed me. It was like a peek under the curtain. And I was like, man, this world, this experience, this community that I'm living in, that I want to be a part of, that I am a part of, is not what I thought it was. It is everything that I think it is, and it's everything that's not. And both of those things were true simultaneously in that moment. And yes, that's what I think about when I'm doing this stuff. I'm thinking about the sufferer. I'm looking through the bullshit. I'm looking through the facade, those tough faces, and I'm speaking to the sufferer, the person that is actually experiencing those things. So I'm going to say some funky shit on here, all right? I'm going to say some things you don't understand. I'm going to use metaphors. I'm going to share some experiences. I'm going to talk through thought patterns, things that are shameful, embarrassing, guilty, that you wouldn't normally think of when you're not in a place of total fucking chaos. So if you're watching this, then this is for you. It's those people that I want you to understand that all that fucking bullshit, the facade, the tough guy stuff, like, yes, it's a real thing. We've all got that in us. But there's a part of us that we're protecting because we don't want to show it to everybody else. But when we shut it down, we all lose our excuse me, our relatability to each other. And I'm going to give you that part. I don't need to fluff up the tough guy thing for myself. I don't need to prove to you how hard I am and, what an amazing soldier I was and whatever. I just want to give you that real part, the part that I was hiding for a long time, so that you know that everybody suffers. We all suffer in different ways. And whatever your experience is, you are not the only one. I can fucking guarantee it, right? All the rotten shit that you think, sometimes the resentments, the total lack of gratitude, the sadness that you're a burden, the emptiness, all those things, the embarrassing thought patterns, the shame around who you are, how you affect other people, etc., fraud, imposter syndrome. I know all that shit, and that's the stuff I'm going to talk about. And I'm 90% going to spare you the tough guy bullshit, right? So this stuff is for you, and it's for the partners that have to watch people go through this, and it's for the family members that surround people like that maybe they don't understand and they want to understand. Or if you're in a community and somebody is going through that, you're the people that I'm talking to, right? I'm giving you that gritty shit that when I often find that when people move on from it, they've recovered, and this is not a slight against them, they don't share it. They don't go and talk about it publicly, nor do you have to, right? But I do, and I am, and I will. And that's the whole fucking point of me doing this, is that I'm going to take all that stuff that was hidden and I'm going to give it to you. So yeah, if you're a sufferer, a true sufferer, and you understand it and you can relate to the things that I'm talking about and the anecdotes and the stories, then this is for you. If you're not and you don't, then it ain't. So yeah, strap in. Like I said, the social media part, me ranting on this microphone, is a little bit more gritty, unrehearsed, a few more ums and ahs. The on-stage speaking presentations that I do as a paid offering through the business is a little bit different. So I want you to know the difference. But yeah, thanks for listening.